Okay, so welcome. I did something pretty chaotic yesterday. I started The Demon King on audio, and okay, so to preface, I have the series, and I know that all of them have audiobooks that are available in my library on Libby. So my plan was to film a video of me reading the series. It's called The 7 Realms on audio after I had finished Fatebreaker. And so The Demon King was available, and so I borrowed it, and so I got halfway through yesterday. Even though I'm still like not even a third of the way through Fatebreaker, and Vow of Thieves is closest to being borrowed on my Libby account, and the rest of the series has like at least a 2-week wait on it. So it was pretty chaotic of me. But I just like really wanted to just snuggle and play my puzzle games on my phone yesterday, and I was like, well, I know that the Demon King's available, so I'm just gonna borrow it. And so I did, and I got halfway through. And so this video is going to overlap with the timeline of Fatebreaker. So I am a little bit like, oh, okay, so how is this gonna work? But I'm just gonna keep the footage on my computer and just like file it away for when I actually finish the series and edit the video. So for now, I'm halfway through The Demon King. I'm really liking it. I am listening to it on audio, so the narrator I'm not sure about. But I'm liking it. I think it's pretty young. Like it's verging on middle grade, but it's marketed as young adult. But I think it's on the younger side of young adult. But it's really comforting. It's kind of like, it reminds me of Tangled. It reminds me of Willow, the TV show. I'm not super sure what's going on. The summary on the inside flap is not super comprehensive. So there's a really poor kind of street type guy named Han, who is from the clans in the city of Fellsmarch. Then there's Princess Reza, who is a princess, just got back from a camp in the mountains where she was hunting and riding, and now she has to come back to princess life. And so it's only halfway through the book, and they just met, and I'm pretty sure they're gonna be love interests, and they both have other love interests too. So I'm 90% sure this is gonna be a really slow burn, which is fun. Princess Reza wants to know what's going on in her country, because she hasn't been outside the castle except to go to this warrior camp. So she has gone into the city, which is super dangerous, just freed a bunch of prisoners. So she's super sassy and spunky, and her mom wants to keep her safe and all that kind of stuff, like a queen would. And over all of this, there is this amulet necklace thing that Han finds and slowly realizes that it's an ancient artifact from the Demon King, who 1,000 years ago destroyed their country. So he's like, oh my god, what do I do with it? And he might be magic because he has these cuffs that he can't take off, and I have a little theory that they're inhibiting his magic that he doesn't know about. So yeah, I'm having fun. I'm liking it a lot. It's really comforting, and who knows what I'm gonna read the next 3, because someone else has them on Libby currently. So this is the start of a vlog that is probably not gonna be finished until April or May. Okay, so it's later on in the day, and I just finished the audiobook for The Demon King. I enjoyed it. I think I'm gonna give it 3 stars just because I don't really think there was a plot. I mean, there was a plot, but it was just a lot of exposition. A lot of exposition. We're really just setting up this big story. The amulet that he has is from the Demon King, like we know that, but Han has magic. I guessed it. But he has magic. The cuffs were inhibiting it. He is a descendant of the Demon King, which is why like the amulet like calls to him. So he and his friend are going off to a school, I believe. It might be the same place that Princess Reza was, learning how to like do all that fun stuff, to learn how to like harness his magic. And Princess Reza almost got married, like against her will, but she almost got married to a witch guy, a wizard, who like she like definitely doesn't like. The wizards are like definitely trying to like take over and like usurp the throne. They like possessed her mom, the queen. So she escaped with her like guard, I believe. He's like magically connected to her now, but she doesn't know. His name's Aemon. And so yeah, that's where we're at. They're kind of just like off in the world. They're not together anymore. They were together for maybe like a chapter of this book in the middle, and then went their separate ways again. So it's very much about like the invisible string of it all. So I foresee a wizard war coming in the series. So once that gets into my Libby account, I'm gonna get into it, and I'm excited because I know that I said this one was a lot of setup, but I do think it was necessary setup for the rest of the series. So like 2 days ago, I started The Exiled Queen, the second book, and I am like 60% of the way through the audiobook, and I have been reading it in like 1 hour chunks, and I keep meaning to make an update and I just haven't. I just have been wanting to get to reading and like cuddling up in my bed and just reading the book, like listening to it. So I haven't updated at all, but I'm like almost done with it. Basically, I only have like 4 hours left. And basically what happened is that Han and Princess Reza have been on completely separate paths, going to Odin's Ford, this school where Princess Reza is going to learn all about like the history and the politics of this these 7 realms, and Han's learning all about how to use his magic. And they're just there. They're just, it's kind of like, if you think like Harry Potter, that's just what this book is currently. I suspect that Han is going to like lose control of his magic because it seems like it's taking over him rather than he is controlling it. There's this person called like the Crow who is coming into this dreamland of Han's and sort of like seeming to like take over. He's a little bit suspicious. And so there's that kind of struggle with Han. Micah, the like witch person from the first book who was gonna marry Princess Reza, is still like his sworn enemy, and Reza's just learning all about her kingdom and also going through a breakup question mark with Aemon, who is like connected to her obviously, but he can't be with her because his job is for like the good of the kingdom, and she's trying to like protect the kingdom. And so there's like headbutting there, like magical, like they're like 2 magnets, like opposing magnets, you know? So there's that romantic plot that's going on. And meanwhile, Han and Reza literally have not, okay, well, they saw each other one time, but Aemon kind of convinced Reza that she actually didn't see Han, but Han saw her and knows that he saw her, but Han doesn't know that she's the princess. He just thinks that she's Rebecca Morley, this girl that he kidnapped for like a day and then let go and never saw again. So their paths are slowly crossing. Like it's captivating. I'm liking it a lot more than the first one. we're kind of at, obviously, like, I'm 60% of the way through, so we're almost at like the third act, which I'm hoping things will pick up in. And yeah, I think I'm probably gonna finish this tomorrow, and the Grey Wolf Throne is ready in my Libby account for when I want to start it. So I'm sick again. I feel like I've been sick like 3 times in the past like 7 months, and it's kind of frustrating, but it does let me hunker down and just get a bunch of audiobook reading done. So I am like an hour out from the end of The Exiled Queen. I'm on chapter 32, like right here. So I really don't have a lot left. And the person in the like dream realm that Han was going to is like definitely evil and definitely like possessing him to get information in the real world. And Han and Reza have formed a relationship, very like early stages, but they've like had some things going on, and he still doesn't know that she's the princess, but she knows that he's like a reformed thief and going to school for magic. I don't actually really know where it's going still. Like, I have no real idea what the climax of this book's gonna be, but I'm excited to find out, and I only have an hour left, maybe a little bit less than that, and I'm excited to finish another book. So I just finished The Exiled Queen. I gave it 4 stars. I enjoyed it a lot more than the first one. Basically, nothing happened. I feel like that is my mindset for this entire series. I was expecting some like really big climactic moment, but nothing. Like, the only thing was that Micah like found out that she was in the school under like the cover of Rebecca, and gave her the choice of like, okay, so either my wizard people are gonna kill you, or you can come with me back to Fellsmarch, the kingdom, and marry me. So that was her whole thing. And then they got ambushed by people from the kingdom of Arden, which is like in between where they were at the school and the kingdom that they're going to, Reza's home. And so Reza's like on her own now, and Han is going after her along with Aemon. They're taking 2 different routes to find her. And so that's where we're at. But I was expecting a bigger like ending, but it just kind of ended on a cliffhanger yet again. So yeah, I finished it, and I liked it more than the first one, so that's good. Maybe it'll just keep increasing. So I took out all the books that I have yet to read, which is why we just have an empty shelf here. So okay, so this is like a chaos update right now. I started the Grey Wolf Throne yesterday. I only got like 3% of the way through because my week has been kind of hectic. But basically, my like soft goal is to finish this series, which is just these 2 books left, by the end of March, because April is when I have 2 jobs at once and I literally don't have time for anything but work. So my plan was just to finish this one because the Crimson Crown had like 6 weeks left of a wait on it. And so I was like taking my time with this. I was like, okay, I'm not in a rush to finish this. Literally I just checked my notifications today and the Crimson Crown is ready. So now I'm like, oh my god, like this was my goal. Like, I totally did not think that I was gonna be able to finish this. I didn't even think this was gonna come into my account by the end of March. So now I'm like hustling. I thought I was gonna have like a lot of time, like the next 2 days, 2 or 3 days to finish this. now I really want to get this done as soon as possible so that I can start on the Crimson Crown. I am going on like a mini vacation on Wednesday night to Sunday, and then Monday is the first day of April, which is when all my jobs start. So I had high hopes before Crimson Crown came through, and now I'm just overwhelmed. So I am just gonna read this as quick as I can and just see what happens, because I'm kind of like, I want to enjoy my mini vacation. So I don't want to be just like sitting inside reading. So I don't know what I'm gonna do, but I still am really liking the series. I think this one's gonna be pretty good. Like I have high hopes for it. We just started out. It's like I'm 3% of the way through. So I wasn't really in the reading mood today, but now I am, because now I have to finish these. I don't have to, but I would really, really love it if I could finish this series by the end of the month. Okay, so I just woke up. It is Tuesday, the last Tuesday of March. I leave for my mini vacation Wednesday night, so tomorrow night, and I want to finish the Demon King series by then. I want to finish it by the time I leave. That means finishing the Grey Wolf Throne today. I'm halfway through, and then picking up the Crimson Crown tonight, and then finishing it tomorrow, which is absolutely doable. Like, it's physically possible. I'm really, really loving this so far, so I don't think it'll be hard for me to like get into it and like cuddle up with the audiobook. So like, it's physically possible. I can do it. I'm just like a little bit nervous, because like, what if it gets really slow and I like start losing interest? Like, I'm in like the mood to like read these books and finish these books. So we're just gonna see what happens. I hope that I can do it. I know I can. Physically, will I want to is the question. But I've set my mind to it. I have this deadline, so I think it's possible. So I'm halfway through the Grey Wolf Throne. I'm really, really liking it. This is the third book, and I'm liking it way more than the first two combined. Like, the story is already just like making more sense and feeling more real. The stakes feel way more high than the last two. The first one was just exposition. The second one was like them at the school, like learning about all this stuff that's going on. And this one is like, okay, we're putting all the stuff that we learned into action, and like political things and like things that are having effects on their country are actually happening. So it feels like the plot is like moving along, which is good. I'm liking it a lot. Basically, so Han and Reza are like out of the school, and Reza was captured and is like on her own, right? And then gets found by the captain of the guard of the queen, and then they get like ambushed, and he dies, and then she's on her own and is about to die because she got struck by a poison arrow. And then Han is still looking for her. He's like found her, and so he saves her life basically with magic. And so they're in the Demon Eye camp, so like the clan camp, and they're both healing. And the big thing is that Han now knows that Reza is the princess. She has like gotten rid of Rebecca, the name that she was using, and so now he knows her as Reza. So most secrets are like out in the open. The queen died, and there might have been like a little murder plot. So that's, I think, is going to be a like kind of like unveiling who killed her plot of this book. And so Reza is now the queen, but her sister is the queen, like is like the next in line, because Reza is like nowhere to be found, so the kingdom like doesn't know where she is. So her sister Melanie is on the throne basically. And Crow, the guy in the dream world that Han was talking to, is actually just the Demon King who like went into the amulet and festered for hundreds of years and is now trying to like regain power. So Han's like dealing with that and doesn't seem really like, he's kind of like, oh, okay, that's just the Demon King. And I'm like, Han, this is like the most like dangerous person in this world. What do you like, why are you so chill about this? But so I'm halfway through, I'm really liking it, and I'm gonna finish it today. I know I'm gonna, it's fine. I just finished The Grey Wolf Throne. I think I'm gonna give it 4 stars because I really loved it. It was better than the first 2, but it was very slow. Like after my last update, all that really happened was Reza just like came to her mom's funeral and was like, hey, I'm still alive. I'm the next queen. Like there's nothing you can do about it. And then the rest of the book was just kind of getting her to her coronation, which then happened. I was kind of expecting something to like go wrong during the coronation and like prevent it from happening. And that would be like the plot of the next book, but nothing happened. Like she's the queen now. So I guess we're gonna find out what happens in the next one. The cliffhanger was that 2 people were like killed on the street during the coronation celebration, and they had Han's group of people's like symbol written on their arms in blood. And so now Han, I assume, is being framed for murder. But I am not sure where the Crimson Crown's gonna go, really. Obviously it's like the last book in the series, but everything's kind of like nice and tied up in a little bow after the Grey Wolf Throne. So I'm kind of going into this with like no expectations. I assume like the Demon King, because he literally didn't come back after Han went to talk to him that one time. So the Demon King guy, Crow, like didn't come back at all. So I just assume that the Crimson Crown is gonna be the like war against him, and the wizards are gonna try and usurp the throne. I don't know. All I know is that this audiobook is 17 hours. This one was like 14 and a half. So, and I listened to them on 2 times speed. So it's just gonna be longer. So the goal for tonight is to get a quarter of the way through the Crimson Crown. I have some stuff to do tomorrow that just came up, so I have less time than I thought, but that's the goal for tonight, is get at least a quarter of the way through, which is like an hour and a half more, reading it on 2 times speed, and I am gonna do it. I'm just gonna do it. It's gonna be fine. This one I can tell is already going to be more political, have more, like, have to do with more of like the kingdom and saving it from these people. I think we've already uncovered a little plot, which is like that the history of this kingdom has been like skewed, because like the victors always tell the story even if they're in the wrong. So we're kind of uncovering that like maybe the stories that all of these people have been told about this kingdom are actually like from the villain's perspective. And so yeah, Han and Reza are also like, they're pining for each other, but Reza's the queen and Han is just a lowly like magical person, so they can't be together, and so they're trying to navigate that too. But I'm gonna get 25% of the way through this today and then finish it tomorrow. I'm gonna do it. I can feel it. Okay, it's Wednesday, aka we leave for Margate tonight, and I have my AirPods in. I am rushing. Well, not rushing. I'm just like listening to it normally, but I'm doing other things, like all the stuff I have to do today. In addition to listening to The Crimson Crown. I'm 40% of the way through, and I kind of just mapped it out in my head, and I don't think I'm gonna be able to finish it by 5, which is fine. like we have Wi-Fi where we're going. I just like it to be like even and nice and kind of like wrapped up, and like I guess I don't have to bring this with me at all, but I would just like it to be finished before we leave, like before there's like a shift in what I'm doing. So yeah, I am slowly but surely getting through it and doing other work while I listen. I'm still really liking it. I'm liking it more than the last one, which is exciting that like the series has just gotten better. I feel like that's like very rare. So Han got elected to be the High Wizard, and Gavin Bayar, the other High Wizard, who is like an asshole, just got like everyone found out that he raped this clan woman. So this person called Fire Dancer, I think I've mentioned, who is Han's friend and part of the clans and also a wizard, who everyone has like been hating on, is his son. And so he's been basically humiliated for spreading his blood, because that's like a big thing that they don't want to do, is like spread their bloodline into other places. But like he raped this woman, so he's an asshole. And he's also a hypocrite because he preaches like not tainting the bloodline. And people are getting suspicious of Han because his symbol has been coming up in a lot of killings, and the entirety of the like really poor area of the city that they live in just like went up in flames, and nobody knows how, and everyone's suspicious of Han except for Reza, because she loves him. So there's that like dynamic. I still think it's the Demon King / Crow doing something like in Han's mind, or like framing him something. I don't know yet, but I'm into it. Okay, so I have a meeting like now. It's 3:25. I have a meeting at 3:30, and I'm so close to being done with the Crimson Crown. I'm right here. So I literally only have like 45 minutes left of the audiobook, which is like an hour and a half, but on 2x speed. And I'm really, really enjoying it. There is a siege on the castle, and Reza and her people are stuck in the castle. Han has been kidnapped by the evil wizard people and tortured with the hopes of telling them where this like secret vault is with all of these like antiquities and like history of this world. And then Micah is like kind of like teetering on the edge of like, is he gonna help Reza? Like, is he gonna help Han, or is he gonna like ally with his parents and the bad people? I don't know. I think he's on Reza and Han's side. Like, I think he's gonna help them unite like the clans and the wizard people and the royalty. So there's that. Crow is a good guy. Like, it was unveiled that the Bayars, the evil wizards, were actually the people who like shattered the realm and made all this like horrible stuff happen, and they're the people that have been like perpetrating it throughout these 100 years. And so there's that plot. But then with Reza and the kingdom, the head of her army like allied with the kingdom of Arden and all of like the people who want to take over Felsmarch in like the middle land of this world, and they're the ones that are like laying siege to the castle that Reza's in. And they've bargained with her. They've taken her sister, and so they're like doing a trade right now, where I think Reza's about to be like no and like double cross them, even though they think that she's turning herself in to get her sister back. Han has just come into the castle. Crow has told him about all of these like secret tunnels. He's a very convenient character, which I'm a little bit just like the tiniest bit annoyed by. But like he's a cool character. Like, he's stuck in this amulet, and once was this like demon king, and everyone like thought that he was horrible, but in actuality he was like trying to like save everybody, and there are other people way back in the past that betrayed them, which is why everything is going to crap now. But I hope that was coherent. I'm just very excited to finish this. Like, we're in the throes of the battle. Like, Han and his people have just come in and are about to like reunite with Reza and those guys, and I have a meeting, so I just have to pause for like a half hour right now and come back afterwards and hopefully have enough time to finish it. Okay, so I did it. I finished The Crimson Crown. I gave it 5 stars. I loved it. Like, never in my life have I experienced a series that just keeps getting better. It was the same plot for the entire series, which I just like, I loved, because it felt like it was good to marathon. It felt like I understood all of these things that were happening. Like, in the 3rd book, it's revealed that Queen Mariana died, but then they don't like solve her murder in the 3rd book, but then they solve the murder in this one. Basically, there's a guy named Nightwalker who is the heir to the clans, like who's gonna like be in charge of the clans, and he was behind all of the killings in the town, and he murdered the queen to like further his own gain because he hates the wizards, which is just like a normal clan thing that they all hate the wizards. And so they killed him. And then Han and Reza got married, but they're still in the middle of the war, which is like my thing. I'm like, oh, okay, so they're still in this war, and I don't actually know. I know that there's a companion series, which I have, called Shattered Realms. I don't know if that follows this or if that's a prequel to the Seven Realms series, but it just ended on such a high, even though they're literally still in the middle of a war. But yeah, I finished the Seven Realms and I really, really liked it. I hope you enjoyed this vlog. I literally will never stop thinking about Han and Reza. They're just like so perfect, and this book is so good, and I don't understand how it got better and better and better, but it did. Anyway, I have to go now because I'm going on vacation. I literally finished this just in the nick of time. Anyway, bye.